The seeds of patience. In the springtime of life, when the flowers of childhood bloom safely in the embrace of parents, there was a boy whose soul was deeply attached to them. But God's will prevails, and the winds of adversity can blow without warning. On a journey that was supposed to be a bridge of affection to his grandfather's house, death snatched both parents away in a tragic accident, leaving the young boy suddenly alone in the desolate wilderness of life. In this fast-paced world, all that remained for him was his elderly grandfather, like an ancient olive tree sheltering a tender sapling, so he moved to live under his wing. There, the contours of his life changed. He became his grandfather's eyes through which he saw, and the staff upon which he leaned, for they were each other's only companions in this world, severed from the family tree except for their deep-rooted bond of love. The early days were heavy, desolate, and filled with challenges beyond his tender years. But the boy's resolve was too strong to be broken by the winds of orphanhood. He drank deeply from his grandfather's wisdom as a thirsty man drinks from fresh water, and he took the book of God as his companion and a guiding light to illuminate the darkness of his nights, memorizing its verses and making them the constitution of his life. The boy grew up, his character strengthened, armed with knowledge and good morals, until he became a distinguished young man, a leading figure among the top students at his university. But life, as always, tests the mettle of men. Just as he began to reap the fruits of his labor, the second farewell arrived. His grandfather, his last source of support, passed away, leaving a deep wound in the young man's heart that rekindled the bitterness of his first loss. The ground almost shook beneath him, but his grandfather's wisdom had taken root in his soul like unyielding mountains, and he knew that acceptance of God's will was the only lifeboat in the sea of sorrow. The young man shook off the dust of despair and rose to continue his journey, dedicating himself to serving his country and community, in loyalty to the memory of those who had passed on. And the generous one willed to reward his patience, for fate led him to a virtuous life partner who saw in his eyes the depth of his experience and the nobility of his purpose. When he recounted to her the chapters of his painful story, she soothed his heart with words of light, saying, "Let us replant what has been severed, and build a large family that will fill the world with goodness and righteousness, just as we were raised." Thanks to God, their blessed tree blossomed, and their house was filled with sons and daughters, so that the warmth he had lost as a child would return, and he would live in the bosom of a virtuous family, built with the bricks of patience and faith.